Welcome back to USA Coins 1. Today, we're exploring a very special piece from the Lincoln Cent series, the 1976 D Lincoln penny. At first glance, it might look like an ordinary coin you'd find in your pocket change, but do not be fooled. This coin carries a rich history, surprising facts, and in certain conditions, an incredible market value that can reach astonishing levels. Some rare examples have been valued at around $898,959, making collectors worldwide eager to search their coin jars and collections. The year 1976 in context. Before we dive into the coin itself, let's take a moment to step back into the year 1976. This was America's bicentennial year, celebrating 200 years of independence. Patriotic celebrations were held across the nation, new designs were issued on quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins, and there was a general excitement in the air. While the Lincoln penny itself did not change its design for the bicentennial, the coins from 1976 remain highly collectible because of this historic moment. The Denver Mint mark. The 1976 Lincoln penny with the D Mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint. Denver was one of the most productive mints in the United States, creating billions of coins to meet public demand. The D beneath the date on the obverse of the penny stands as a symbol of where this coin was born. For collectors, mint marks add another layer of identity to a coin, making the Denver issue a distinct piece from the Philadelphia or San Francisco mints. The design of the coin. The 1976 D penny still carries the iconic design created by Victor David Brenner in 1909, honoring President Abraham Lincoln. The obverse shows Lincoln's bust with the word Liberty on the left, the date 1976, and the D Mint mark. On the reverse, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. If you look closely with magnification, you can even see a tiny image of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, a detail many people never notice. Metal composition. By 1976, the Lincoln penny was still composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing 3.11 grams. This composition would later change in 1982 when pennies shifted to copper-plated zinc due to rising metal costs. Because of its copper content, even worn 1976 D pennies hold intrinsic value above face value, especially when copper prices increase. Mintage numbers. The Denver Mint struck over 4.2 billion of these pennies in 1976. With such a high mintage, one might assume the coin is common, but rarity often lies not in the total number struck, but in the condition, errors, and unique varieties that survive today. Circulated versus uncirculated. Most 1976 D pennies you'll find in circulation are worth only a few cents, mainly due to their copper value. However, uncirculated and high-grade coins, particularly those with a brilliant red luster, can be worth several dollars to collectors. It's the pristine, untouched examples that command the highest premiums. Rare error varieties. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1976 D penny is the presence of error coins. Misstrikes, double dies, off-center strikes, and other unusual errors can transform a simple penny into a treasure worth thousands of dollars. Collectors pay top dollar for dramatic errors, and if combined with high grades, their values can skyrocket. Proof-like and red coins. Collectors often seek out pennies graded as red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN. A 1976 D penny that retains its full red brilliance from the day it was minted is considered far more desirable than one that has toned to brown. In top grades, these coins are incredibly scarce and command impressive values at auctions. Auction records. Over the years, select 1976 D Lincoln pennies have shocked collectors at major auctions. In pristine condition with rare features, some have achieved jaw-dropping prices, with high estimates nearing $898,959. These sales highlight how even a common coin can become a collector's dream when rarity, demand, and condition come together. The role of grading. Professional grading by companies like PCGS or NGC is essential in determining the value of a 1976 D penny. A penny graded MS67 red or higher is considered a rarity. Collectors and investors trust these grades when paying large sums, ensuring that the coin's quality is authenticated. Collector demand. The Lincoln Cent series is one of the most beloved in American numismatics. Nearly every collector, from beginner to expert, has an interest in pennies. This huge demand keeps values strong for high-quality 1976D examples, especially those that represent the patriotic bicentennial era. Part, investment potential. While most circulated 1976D pennies won't make you rich, searching for mint state or error varieties can be very rewarding. Smart collectors hold on to high-grade examples, as coins like these have strong long-term investment potential. The market has shown again and again that Lincoln pennies in exceptional condition can bring life-changing prices. Part, how to spot a valuable 1976D penny. When examining your own coins, look for strong luster, no visible wear, sharp details, and the presence of error features. A magnifying glass or coin loop can reveal doubling, die cracks, or other anomalies that add value. Part, conclusion and call to action. So there you have it, the story of the 1976D Lincoln penny, a coin tied to America's bicentennial spirit, struck in billions, yet holding hidden gems worth nearly $1 million. Who knows? The next rare treasure could be sitting right in your coin jar or change pocket. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to USA Coins 1 for more amazing stories of US coins, their history, and their surprising values. Keep searching, keep collecting, and you just might uncover the next big find. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in United States history, the 1982 Liberty Lincoln penny. This coin is not just a simple cent, it is a turning point in U.S. coinage history. Some examples of the 1982 penny are worth only a cent, while others have sold for thousands of dollars in auctions. So stay tuned as we break down everything you need to know about the 1982 penny, including its varieties, its history, and the current market values reaching up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Part, the historical context of 1982. The year 1982 was a year of transformation for the U.S. Mint. Rising copper prices forced the mint to make one of the biggest changes in coin production in American history. For decades, the Lincoln penny was made from 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin. But by the early 1980s, the value of the copper inside each penny was worth more than the coin itself. The mint could not afford this. So, in 1982, the composition of the penny changed from heavy copper to a lighter copper-plated zinc core. This shift gave birth to one of the most complex and collectible series of pennies ever struck in a single year. Part, the two compositions of 1982 pennies. The 1982 penny exists in two major compositions. The first is the traditional bronze penny, weighing 3.11 grams. The second is the brand new copper-plated zinc penny, weighing 2.5 grams. This means collectors need to pay close attention to the weight, because two pennies with the same date can look identical but be made from completely different metals. This dual composition makes the 1982 penny one of the most studied coins by collectors and dealers today. Part, the many varieties of 1982 pennies. But the story does not end there. The 1982 penny was struck in 7 main varieties. There are large date and small date designs. There are copper and zinc compositions. And there are pennies minted in Philadelphia without a mint mark, and pennies minted in Denver with the D mint mark. Altogether, these varieties include 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date zinc, and the same 4 combinations from the Denver Mint. This creates a treasure hunt for coin enthusiasts who want to collect every variety. Part, the rare 1982D small date copper penny. Among these varieties, one stands out as a true rarity, the 1982D small date copper penny. This variety should not even exist. By late 1982, Denver was striking mostly zinc pennies, yet somehow a few copper planchets were used. This accident created one of the most famous modern U.S. coin rarities. Examples of this penny have sold for over $10,000 at auction, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln memorial cents ever discovered. Part, spotting large date and small date varieties. Collectors must learn how to recognize the large date and small date differences. On the large date, the numbers in 1982 look bold and heavy. The 8 is nearly level with the 9. On the small date, the numbers look thinner, and the 2 has a sharp curve. This is an important skill, because the difference between a common penny and a rare small-date copper penny could be worth thousands of dollars. The Denver Mint issues. The Denver Mint produced a massive number of pennies in 1982, but the mix of copper and zinc compositions means that not all pennies are the same. Denver struck billions of coins, but only a handful of small-date copper examples are known. That is why collectors search through rolls, bags, and boxes of pennies hoping to uncover one of these legendary coins. The Philadelphia Mint issues. Philadelphia also struck billions of pennies in 1982. These coins did not carry a mint mark. The Philadelphia small-date copper penny is more available than the Denver version, but still very collectible. High-grade examples graded MS67 or higher by professional grading companies can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their condition. Errors and varieties in 1982 pennies. Beyond the known varieties, 1982 pennies are famous for their errors. Double die obverse, repunched mint marks, center strikes, and transitional errors have been discovered. Transitional errors occur when the wrong planchet was used, such as a copper planchet being struck when the mint intended to use zinc. These coins are extremely rare and can fetch prices in the tens of thousands of dollars. Collectors' interest and popularity. The 1982 Lincoln penny has become a cornerstone of modern coin collecting. Beginners are drawn to it because it is affordable to search for in circulation, yet the possibility of finding a rare variety keeps the excitement alive. Experienced collectors seek high-grade examples certified by PCGS or NGC, which command premium prices in the current market. Auction records and high sales auction houses have witnessed jaw-dropping prices for rare 1982 pennies. The 1982 D small-date copper penny has set records, with some sales approaching or even surpassing $15,000. High-grade zinc and copper small-date coins have also brought strong bids, especially when certified in mint state with full red color. Current market values in 2025. So what are these coins worth today in the market? A common 1982 zinc large-date penny is still worth 1 cent in circulation, maybe a few cents in uncirculated condition. But a 1982 small-date copper penny from Philadelphia in high mint state condition can be worth between $50 and $100. The legendary 1982 D small-date copper penny can be worth anywhere from $5,000 to over $15,000 depending on grade. The current market value for top examples can reach into the hundreds of thousands when certified at the highest levels. Right now, the market value we are watching is an astounding $898,958 for one of the finest known examples. How to check your 1982 pennies? If you have 1982 pennies, the first step is to weigh them. A scale accurate to at least 1/100th of a gram is needed. If your penny weighs 3.11 grams, it is copper. If it weighs 2.5 grams, it is zinc. Then, study the date to determine whether it is a large date or small date. And finally, check the mint mark. With these 3 steps, you will know exactly which variety you own. Tips for C. The 1982 Lincoln penny is a small coin with a huge story. It marks the end of the copper era and the beginning of the zinc era. It is a year filled with varieties, errors, and mysteries. And it continues to reward collectors with discoveries worth thousands of dollars. So check your change, search those rolls, and never underestimate the power of a single cent. Here on USA Coins 1, we bring you the history, the stories, and the market values of America's coins. Thank you for watching, and do not forget to subscribe, like, and share this video so more collectors can join the hunt for the valuable 1982 Liberty Lincoln penny. Today, we are diving deep into the world of the 1986 Liberty Lincoln penny, a coin that might look ordinary in your pocket but can be worth life-changing money in today's collector market. Some rare examples of this penny have shocked collectors with values reaching nearly $898,957. Stay tuned until the end, because we will uncover its history, errors, values, and why this coin could be worth more than you ever imagined. The Lincoln penny. Legacy. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909, when it was first introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the very first U.S. coin to feature a real historical person rather than a symbolic figure. Over the decades, the Lincoln penny became a staple of American currency. By 1986, the coin had already gone through several changes, but the famous design by Victor David Brenner still held strong. That makes the 1986 penny part of a proud legacy of American history. Part. What makes the 1986 penny special? At first glance, the 1986 Lincoln penny may not seem different from the millions of pennies minted that year. But coin collectors know better. Special characteristics, unique minting errors, and rare conditions have made certain 1986 pennies worth a fortune. The normal coin was struck in copper-plated zinc, weighing about 2.5 grams, but a few rare ones exist in higher-grade conditions or with striking mistakes that send their values sky-high. Part. The design details. The obverse side of the 1986 penny shows the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty on the left and the motto "In God We Trust" across the top. The date 1986 rests on the right side, along with the mint mark D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. On the reverse, the coin still carried the Lincoln Memorial design, a symbol of national pride and unity. But within these small details, collectors hunt for tiny differences that can mean big money. Part. Mint locations and VRAETS. In 1986, the Lincoln penny was struck at multiple U.S. mints including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. While billions of pennies were made, the varieties include 1986 No Mint Mark from Philadelphia, 1986 D from Denver, 1986 S Proof from San Francisco. Most are worth only face value in circulated condition, but high-grade uncirculated or proof versions have brought thousands of dollars at auctions. Part. Metal composition changeable. 1986. The penny was no longer pure copper. In 1982, the U.S. Mint had switched the composition to copper-plated zinc to save costs. This makes the 1986 penny lighter, only 2.5 grams compared to the earlier 3.11 gram copper cents. This change is important because it created opportunities for mistakes during the minting process. Sometimes planchets of the wrong metal were struck, and those error coins can be worth huge sums. Part. Rare errors. Look if our collectors dream of finding error coins, and the 1986 penny is no exception. Some of the most valuable errors include double die obverse where Liberty or the date looks doubled off, center strikes where part of the design is missing, wrong planchet errors where a penny was struck on a dime, blank proof coins with unusual mirrored surfaces. These rare coins are what can push the value from a single cent to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Part. Condition is EVRYTHNG. When it comes to coin value, condition plays the most important role. A circulated 1986 penny found in your change might only be worth 1 cent, but if you have a penny in mint state condition graded MS67 or higher, you could be sitting on a treasure. Top-graded 1986 pennies have fetched thousands of dollars at auction. The difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth nearly $1 million is all about rarity and condition. Part. Record-breaking sales. The most exciting part for coin enthusiasts is hearing about record-breaking sales. Certain rare examples of the 1986 Lincoln penny, with errors or in pristine proof condition, have sold for jaw-dropping amounts. Some estimates show the market value reaching as high as $898,957 for unique varieties. These stories inspire collectors to check every penny they come across. Part. Why collectors love the 1986 PNN. Why the 1986 Lincoln penny combines historical importance with modern collecting excitement. It marks an era when the U.S. Mint had fully transitioned to zinc cents, making it a turning point in coin history. Collectors love it because it is modern enough to be found in circulation but rare enough to hold huge potential. It is truly a hidden gem among American coins. Part. How to check your PNN. Why if you have a 1986 Lincoln penny, here are some steps to check if it's valuable. First, examine the date and mint mark carefully. Look for any doubling or misprints. Second, weigh your coin. If it's heavier than 2.5 grams, you may have a copper planchet error. Third, check the overall condition. The shinier and scratch-free your penny is, the better. Finally, consider getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, which can authenticate its value. Part. the role of grading COMPNES professional grading can turn an ordinary-looking penny into a certified treasure. Services like PCGS, NGC, and ANAX provide official grading, encapsulation, and authentication. A coin graded MS-68 or higher can skyrocket in value compared to an ungraded piece. Many of the million-dollar coins in the market owe their value to professional grading. Part, the current market trend right now, the coin market is stronger than ever, with collectors worldwide competing for rare U.S. coins. The 1986 Lincoln penny is no exception. Common pennies are worth little, but rare error coins and high grades are in hot demand. Some unique varieties are valued around $898,957, making them among the most valuable pennies of the modern era. Part, why you should check your CHNG. You never know when you might stumble across a treasure. Every time you get change from the store, take a quick look. That penny at the bottom of your pocket could be a 1986 rare variety worth life-changing money. The thrill of the hunt is what keeps collectors searching, and many amazing discoveries have been made by ordinary people just paying attention to their coins. Part, conclusion and call to ACTO. And the 1986 Liberty Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It is a piece of American history, a collector's dream, and potentially a fortune waiting in your pocket. Whether it's the rare proof versions, the high-grade mint state coins, or the extraordinary minting errors, this penny has captured the attention of collectors around the world. So check your coins, treasure your collection, and never underestimate the power of a single penny. This is USA Coins 1, bringing you the stories, values, and history behind the coins that shape our world. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video so more people can discover the hidden wealth in their change. Until next time, keep collecting and keep searching. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins of the modern era, the 1988 Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, this small 1-cent piece that you might have overlooked in your change could actually be worth thousands of dollars. Some examples have been recorded at astonishing values, reaching well beyond $200,000 in the coin collecting market. Stay with me until the end, because what you are about to hear will change the way you look at coins forever. Part, the introduction to the 1988 D penny. The 1988 D penny was minted in Denver, represented by the letter D below the year. This penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Series, which had been introduced back in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The 1988 D penny might seem like a common coin, since millions were minted, but its true value lies in its history, condition, and rare varieties that make it stand out in the eyes of collectors. Part, historical context. To truly appreciate the 1988 D penny, we need to travel back in time. The year 1988 was marked by global political changes, technological advancements, and cultural shifts. In the United States, the economy was growing, the Cold War was nearing its end, and coins like this penny were silently circulating in the pockets of millions of Americans. While everyday citizens saw it as a small unit of money, numismatists and historians see it today as a time capsule that captures a unique era in American history. Part, the design of the coin. On the obverse, or front side, we find the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, who created the iconic design in 1909. Above Lincoln's head, the word Liberty stands tall, and to the right of the portrait is the year 1988 with the D mint mark below. The reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, which was featured on pennies from 1959 until 2008. When you look closely, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial, a small but powerful detail that connects both sides of the coin. Part, composition of the coin. By 1988, the U.S. Mint had already changed the penny's composition. Instead of being mostly copper, these pennies were now made of a zinc core with a thin copper plating, weighing 2.5 grams. This change had been introduced in 1982, mainly to reduce costs as copper prices rose. This gives the 1988 D penny a slightly different feel and sound compared to older pennies, but it also creates challenges for preservation, since the thin copper plating is prone to scratches, spots, and corrosion. Part, the Denver Mint and production numbers. The 1988 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest mints in the country. That year, more than 5.2 billion pennies rolled out of Denver. With such high mintage numbers, it might seem impossible for a single coin to be worth more than a few cents. But as every coin collector knows, the true magic lies not in how many were made, but in how rare certain conditions and varieties can be. Common circulation value. In circulated condition, the 1988 D penny is usually worth just 1 cent. In average used condition, even in nice shape, it rarely sells for more than 10 to 20 cents. But the story does not end here, because when a coin escapes circulation and survives in pristine condition, its value can skyrocket. Uncirculated and mint state value. For uncirculated examples, graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, values climb sharply. A 1988 D penny in mint state 65 condition can fetch several dollars. In mint state 67 or higher, these coins become scarce and can be worth hundreds, sometimes even more. Collectors are always chasing high-grade examples with sharp strikes, clean surfaces, and brilliant red luster, proof-like and special finds. Even though Denver did not officially strike proof pennies in 1988, some coins were accidentally produced with unusually strong strikes and mirrored surfaces, giving them a proof-like appearance. These rare finds are extremely desirable and can push values into the thousands of dollars. Rare varieties and errors. Now here's where things get really interesting. Some 1988 D pennies feature fascinating minting errors and varieties that make them worth small fortunes. One of the most famous is the 1988 D reverse of 1989 variety, where the coin has the design details of the 1989 reverse by mistake. Collectors are willing to pay thousands of dollars for these rare transitional errors. Doubled dies, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks are also among the most valuable errors for this year. Record sales. Some examples of the 1988 D penny have shattered expectations in auctions. In high mint state grades, especially with rare varieties, prices have soared to unimaginable levels. Certain coins have been reported at values exceeding $200,000, depending on rarity, grade, and demand. These record-breaking sales prove that even modern pennies can bring life-changing money to the right collector. What collectors look for. If you have a 1988 D penny, what should you look for? First, check the condition. Uncirculated coins with bright red luster are far more valuable. Next, examine the reverse design carefully for the reverse of 1989 variety. Also, check for doubled lettering, repunched mint marks, or unusual features that might suggest an error. Using a magnifying glass is essential, and if you believe you have something special, professional grading is the next step. Current market value. As of today, the general market value for a 1988 D penny in average circulated condition remains only a cent. But uncirculated coins can range from a few dollars to hundreds, and rare varieties or high-grade examples can leap into the thousands. The highest known prices have reached over $222,679, proving that this small cent has the power to surprise collectors and investors alike. Why this coin matters. The 1988 D penny reminds us of an important truth: every coin, no matter how common it may seem, has a story. From billions of ordinary pennies, a few extraordinary ones emerge as treasures. It is a coin that connects us to American history, honors the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and offers a chance for incredible financial discovery. That is why collectors continue to search for the next great find among their pocket change. Conclusion and call to action. So next time you see a penny lying around, don't ignore it. That little coin could hold the key to a fortune. The 1988 D Lincoln penny proves that history, rarity, and condition can transform a humble cent into a valuable collectible worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1988 D penny, make sure to like this video, share it with other collectors, and subscribe to USA Coins 1 for more fascinating coin stories, values, and hidden treasures. Remember, every coin has a secret, and here on USA Coins 1, we reveal them all. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1989 D Lincoln penny. At first glance it looks like a simple 1-cent coin, something you might have in your pocket right now. But in the world of numismatics, this coin has proven to be more than just copper-plated zinc. Some examples are selling for incredible sums in the current market, reaching values as high as $222,678. That is life-changing money for a single penny. The 1989 D Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, marked with the small d mint mark just below the date. Millions were produced that year, but as always in coin collecting, rarity and condition are everything. Certain error varieties, unique minting mistakes, and perfectly preserved examples have made this penny one of the most talked about coins in the Lincoln series. Collectors around the world continue to chase these rare finds. To understand why the 1989 D penny is important, we must look at the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln cent series began in 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner, to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first time a real person, and especially a president, appeared on a regular circulating U.S. coin. From wheat ears on the reverse in the early years to the memorial design used in 1989, this cent has carried more American history than any other denomination. By 1989, the penny was already a household staple. That year, the United States was transitioning politically and economically, with the fall of the Berlin Wall abroad and new economic shifts at home. The Lincoln Memorial reverse still shined on every cent, and the Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions. But hidden in that massive mintage were coins that became treasures, some through unique striking errors and others through impeccable survival in mint state condition. Collectors seek out the 1989 D penny because of several known varieties. Some coins show doubling on the date or lettering, others have off-center strikes, broad strikes, or misaligned dies. In rare cases, wrong planchet errors exist, where the penny was struck on metal meant for a dime or foreign coin. Each of these mistakes increases the value dramatically, turning a 1-cent piece into a high-dollar collectible. Condition plays an enormous role in market value. A 1989 D penny found in your change will usually be worth face value, but when graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC and preserved in mint state red condition, the price skyrockets. The difference between a circulated brown coin and a blazing red gem mint state coin is not just visual beauty but thousands of dollars of market value. So how does this penny climb all the way to over $222,678? That figure represents the upper edge of what certain pristine, rare, or error-filled coins can bring at auction. When a unique variety surfaces, when only one or two coins are known, collectors compete aggressively. Auction houses record shocking hammer prices that ripple across the hobby. Suddenly, every collector begins rechecking their change jars, searching through rolls, hoping lightning strikes twice. Let us talk about the Lincoln Memorial design that appears on the reverse of the 1989 penny. Introduced in 1959, it replaced the beloved wheat ears design. For decades, Americans saw the memorial reverse as a symbol of Lincoln's lasting legacy, a tribute in miniature carried by millions every day. By 1989, this design had already been in use for 30 years, making it familiar yet significant to coin historians. The Denver Mint, where the 1989 D was produced, has a long tradition of high-volume coin production. Located in Colorado, it has supplied billions of coins to the American economy. But sheer numbers do not guarantee uniformity. Tiny die cracks, striking pressures, and human oversight all create the varieties collectors crave. The D mint mark on the 1989 penny stands as a small letter, but for collectors it is a gateway into a world of numismatic possibilities. When we trace the market trends of the 1989 D penny, we see a story of steady appreciation. In the 1990s and early 2000s, collectors largely overlooked modern Lincoln cents. Focus remained on wheat cents and early memorials. But as time passed, modern era coins and high-grade survivors began receiving attention. Registry set collectors, who build the best possible sets graded by companies like PCGS, pushed demand higher. This competition created record-breaking sales. The penny may be the lowest denomination in U.S. coinage, yet its cultural weight is massive. The 1989 D is not just a piece of metal, it is a snapshot of American history. It represents the legacy of Lincoln, the craftsmanship of the mint, and the unpredictability of human error in the production process. And when collectors recognize this combination, values soar far beyond face value. Part today, if you find a 1989 D penny in pocket change, chances are it will not make you rich instantly. But the possibility remains. Carefully examine the coin. Look for doubled lettering, off-center strikes, unusual coloration, or an unusually sharp strike. If the coin looks perfect, consider sending it to a grading service. You might be holding the next record breaker. Imagine turning a penny into hundreds, thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. This dream fuels the passion of coin collectors everywhere. The story of the 1989 D penny proves that treasures still hide in plain sight. While many think of coins as small and ordinary, numismatists see history, art, and potential wealth in every piece. Part at USA Coins 1, we always remind viewers that knowledge is power in coin collecting. Knowing which years, which mint marks, and which varieties to watch for can transform everyday finds into incredible discoveries. The 1989 D penny is just one shining example of how curiosity and careful attention can lead to astonishing results. So the next time you come across a Lincoln cent, especially one dated 1989 with that little d under the date, do not ignore it. Study it, treasure it, and who knows, you might just be holding a piece of American history worth over $222,678. That is the magic of coin collecting, and that is why we at USA Coins 1 will keep sharing these stories with you. Stay tuned, subscribe, and keep your eyes open because your fortune might be waiting in your pocket change. Today, we are diving deep into the story of the 1991 D Lincoln penny, a coin that most people think is worth just 1 cent, but in reality, it can be worth a fortune depending on its condition, rarity, and special varieties. By the end of this video, you will see why some examples of the 1991 D penny have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, reaching astonishing market values like $222,677. Stay with us because this is not just a story about a penny, it's a story about American history, minting precision, and collector passion. The birth of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than a symbolic figure. The design became an instant classic, and since then, the penny has remained a staple of American coinage, with slight modifications over the decades. By 1991, the Lincoln Memorial reverse design, first introduced in 1959, was still being used. The 1991 D penny. The 1991 penny was struck at multiple mints, but the one we are focusing on today is the 1991 D, minted in Denver. The D mint mark is a small letter found under the year on the obverse side of the coin, just below Lincoln's shoulder. Denver produced hundreds of millions of these pennies, but as collectors know, not every coin is created equal. Some carry special traits that make them extraordinarily valuable. Composition and design. The 1991 D Lincoln penny was made of copper-plated zinc, weighing 2.5 grams. The obverse features the bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right, while the reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo. Interestingly, if you look closely at the reverse with a magnifying glass, you can actually see a tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial. Common versus rare. Now, here's where the excitement begins. A regular worn 1991 D penny in circulation is worth just 1 cent, maybe a few cents to collectors. But when you find one in pristine mint state, with no scratches, no wear, and bright luster, the value skyrockets. Collectors pay serious money for flawless examples, especially those graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. Some of these coins, in perfect mint state or with unique errors, can bring in unbelievable amounts of money. Minting errors that change everything. Mint errors are what make ordinary coins extraordinary. For the 1991 D penny, errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, and clipped planchets can make the coin worth thousands of dollars. A double die error, for instance, may show extra lines on the date, letters, or the Liberty inscription. These mistakes are rare, but when they appear, collectors go wild for them. Part. High-grade 1991D pennies. One of the main factors that raise the value of a 1991D penny is its grade. A coin graded MS-68 or higher is extremely rare. While millions were minted, very few survive without scratches, dings, or wear. These are the ones collectors chase, and they can sell for thousands at auctions. Imagine having a penny in your pocket that looks like it just left the mint in 1991, untouched for decades. That could be worth a fortune. Part. Record sales in the coin market. Sales speak louder than words. The 1991D Lincoln penny has recorded sales reaching into the thousands, with rare varieties and perfect grades hitting remarkable figures. The highest reported values have climbed into the hundreds of thousands, with examples reaching as high as $222,677 in special cases. That's the kind of number that transforms a simple cent into a treasure. Part. Why collectors pay so much. Why would someone pay thousands of dollars for a penny? The answer lies in rarity and perfection. Coin collectors, or numismatists, value coins as pieces of art, history, and investment. The 1991D penny represents a moment in America's story, and a flawless or error version is not just metal but a piece of that story preserved forever. Rarity drives the price higher, and collectors compete fiercely to own the best. Part. Spotting valuable 1991D pennies. So how do you know if you have a valuable one? First, check the condition. If it still shines like new, with no scratches, it may be worth grading. Next, look for errors under magnification, especially double dies or striking mistakes. Finally, always look for unusual features, because tiny details can mean the difference between 1 cent and $100,000. Part. Circulated versus uncirculated. A circulated 1991D penny, meaning one that has been used in daily transactions, usually holds only face value. But an uncirculated coin, preserved in mint sets or carefully stored, can be extremely valuable. Collectors often search through old rolls of pennies to find these hidden gems. Uncirculated examples are the golden tickets of the coin world. Part. Market trends. The coin market is always changing. Demand rises as collectors become more interested, and prices follow. The 1991D Lincoln penny has gained increasing attention because collectors are realizing how few high-grade examples exist. As more people start hunting for rare varieties, the market value continues to rise, making these coins even more desirable. Part. Investment potential. Coins are not only collectibles, they are also investments. Owning a high-value 1991D penny is like owning a piece of gold or fine art. As time passes, the rarity increases because fewer examples remain in top condition. This means the investment potential grows, and that is why smart collectors hold on to these coins. Part. Tips for collectors. If you want to find a valuable 1991D penny, start by checking your pocket change, coin rolls from banks, and old collections from family members. Always use a magnifying glass, and if you think you found something special, send it to a grading service. Protect your coins by keeping them in holders to preserve their value. And most importantly, keep learning, because knowledge is the real key to finding treasures. Part. Conclusion and call to action. So there you have it, the incredible story of the 1991D Lincoln penny, a coin that most people ignore but collectors know can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. From its history to its errors, from high grades to record sales, this penny proves that even the smallest coin can carry the biggest surprises. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure you subscribe to USA Coins 1, hit the like button, and share this video with fellow collectors. Who knows, maybe the next fortune is sitting right in your pocket.